set of 3. So again, the final game is upon us, and well, both teams have kind of had their stay of maybe not playing the lineups that they're necessarily comfortable with. Hell, maybe that's making for just the most entertaining, crazy action-paced game ever here in Game 3. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But obviously Game 2, I mean, Pencil's really turning it on, man, and building a lineup that obviously they liked and played very well. So blind bands coming out here. Wild Soul, Keeper of the Forest. Ophelia, Keeper of the Forest. So just like the first game, actually, we see that Keeper of the Forest overlapping. Fade is going to be the first lock, though, from Pencil. So, and that's definitely a hero that can lead towards more of an aggressive game, too. So perhaps that's what they're looking at here for Pencils. What do you think?
Well, I think we see the same blind bands as game 1. Obviously, Pencils is not going to go with the same style of strategy as they went. We'll see what kind of lessons they learned and how they want to approach this. Or do you see very aggressive gank heavy heroes in the Fade Pebbles lock coming out there? No sign of a Tempest yet, though. It's still sort of lingering there.
I like the Master of Arms, and I'll say this because now, as we've seen, man, as we talk about it a lot lately, because we've just seen it so much, Master of Arms is just, not only is he exploded on the scene, but that ultimate is just so powerful. But it's really powerful against teams that try to jump you, that try to gank you aggressively. And obviously, if you look at Pencils, what they did last game, if you have a Master of Arms, having that global presence of the defensive Master's Call or even the offensive Master's Call in situations to be able to use on that person that's getting initiated on can really throw off the other team. So
yeah, I mean, if you commit to a kill and you don't get it, usually that ends up horribly. I mean, you're basically using all of your spells, all of your initiation, all of your cooldown. You're left with pretty much nothing to handle the follow-up that's going to be coming at you. So when you invest in a kill, you have to make sure to get it. And Master's a hero that can provide that huge turnaround factor. So I think that's why we're seeing a lot more of him lately.
yeah, and obviously that on top of the Ophelia, you know, if you happen to get that combination, that's where it's really ridiculous.
And then you have an Astrolabe early on, and this is an insane amount of heal to deal with.
Can't kill anyone.
Nope.
So Pebbles, Master of Arms, response to TteS Esports. Aluna Flux coming out here from Pencil. So once again a Flux, and then actually Gauntlet to finish things off. So we're not going to see a Rift Walker lock for the third game in a row. But it is going to be Gauntlet coming out here. So again, I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see a Gauntlet pickers is going with some aggressive play, especially in that game number 2 once again. But we will have to wait and see. Jerazion and Fora is how things are going to start off here. As far as the banning phase, there's a Moon Queen. But again, especially more so on the side of Pencils, I see them going a very aggressive, you know, maybe not even in a carry route once again, just because it just worked out so beautifully for them last game. I mean, why try to fix what's not broken, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. I think that pacing fits them a lot better too. What I'd like to see is Zepro coming out, picking up that Bramble, and being like, "No, man, this is how you play it.
This is how you do it.
This is how you play the Bramble."
Apparently, he plays it very good. I still have yet to see him play it.
That is like his signature hero, I guess, right now. I mean, that's what he likes to go by. So
yeah, he has it right clicked. He always does though. So
he always does. I mean, and it's hilarious. I mean, it just fits his personality too. Knowing the guy.
Yeah. Seems like he's a fun dude.
It's indeed his spirit animal, so.
Banning phase, Jerazion and 4 Moon Queen, Tempest, Gravekeeper, Parasite. So we see a Gravekeeper ban kind of randomly coming out here. Granted, you know, Heimer and Jeppins actually have proven to play the pretty strong Gravekeeper, so I guess not so random in that sense, but you see actually Cheese Helmet kind of responding to it. I didn't want the Gravekeeper anyway, so thank you. Pencil's first pick. We'll see what they choose here, though.
Engineer, maybe?
Yeah.
We saw they had first pick, and they chose to ban the Moon Queen, so they didn't make TteS ban that. They just said, taking it out of the game, we don't want to play it, and we got something else in store.
Well, I mean, there is still the Draconis, too, just like the first game, actually. Draconis on the board. Usually we do see him getting banned up nowadays. So, but yeah, the Engineer, especially if they want to go maybe a Fade first pick, could be a good combo with him, so...
Yeah, it's a really cool lock pull actually, because you don't like normally see the heavyweight jungler coming out, or the Tempest and the Keeper and the Ophelia. You get to really focus on more aggressive lineups here. So.
Yeah, that's what's definitely was fun for me to see. Now there is that Demented Shaman Zephyr combination also open. Another thing that I always like to keep an eye out for, because
like I just don't see either of these teams as being the ones to pick that up.
True. Very true.
You know, I would honestly be shocked. I basically those heroes might as well not be on the board. I think so. I mean, I've seen Enzo play Zephyr a lot. I just now that Heimer's back here, I don't think they'll run that kind of a lineup. I think.
Ain't gonna do it.
Interesting to see if we'll see Enso on second support again, though.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it's so weird to see a player like that playing like a carry and then going to something like that secondary support. But
Yeah.
there you go, Engineer Rally, and I actually brought up Rally a little bit last game in the sense that Rally's really another hero that is I don't want to say like exploding onto the scene by any means, but it seems like a lot of teams are willing to dabble with him more and more, and well, he's found somewhat of a place here on the competitive scene. So you like Rally?
Oh yeah, I mean, you might recall we picked Rally quite a lot up for Jetpins. I mean, Jetpins, if you look at his TMM stats, I think he has approximately 3 billion Rally games played. So perhaps the most practiced Rally of them all, and I'm sure he'll probably be playing this game. It is his favorite hero, I believe. So aside from the Grenax lately, but yeah, Rally is sort of his signature hero at the moment. So
right on. Whoa. Okay.
Well.
Now, okay, actually, and this is just, I'm remembering, look at the change log real quickly. Yeah, Artillery did get some pretty good buffs, actually.
Well, they were pretty significant, yeah, enough, in my opinion, to bump them up into usable status.
Yeah, so. I'm not too personally familiar with this hero. I mean, I know the concept and everything, but I've never really played him. I played him maybe once or twice myself, and we've never seen him, obviously, on the Hans competitive scene, so... But the LRM, which is the ability that basically spams the bullets, I think it's his Q. Yeah, it's his Q, where you can turn it left and right. That got buffed all around, basically. And it can do quite a lot, apparently, now. So
yeah, it can. It farms a lot quicker. It feels a lot smoother when you're using it because it has a lower cast time, and the duration of it is also a half-second shorter, so it just feels better when you use it. More damage coming out a little bit quicker. One thing I'm curious about in this matchup is Artillery really thrives on his positioning in teamfights to sort of do his thing. He's like, in my opinion, sort of like a slightly better Flint Beastwood or something right now that has like an AoE stun for escape. I want to know if Pharaoh has him in that mummy wall, can he actually leap out of it with his artillery barrage?
I would think so. I mean, it seems like everything can get out of a freaking mummy wall, to be honest. I think so, but I'm not sure. Yeah, so I can't really say either way. Cheese Helmet going to be playing the Artillery, though. And now, again, Artillery is kind of an interesting hero. That bunker down ability is pretty cool. The fact that it gives him so much range and the base damage, but of course you have to be standing in that little circle that it puts down. The Artillery Barrage, as you put it, the ultimate, it's not only a great initiation tool and just burst damage, but it is actually a pretty solid getaway tool, too, if you need to use it for that reason. So
yeah, I mean, Artillery with a bit of farm can put out a ton of damage in those fights, keeping his position with the bunker down. If they turn on him and try to go for him, that's when he uses that the barrage and use it to position himself back and sort of keep them kited. So
yeah, I'm excited. I really am. This is cool that we got a game 3 here. Again, this is it for really so much on the line. I can't keep stressing that enough. That trip to Thailand, $60,000 prize pool competition there. You have to win this whole tournament, though, again, but you got to start here. And TT Esports and Pencils, of course, both wanting it, I'm sure, but only one can move on. That's just, that's just how it works, obviously.
Break. Yeah, I got to point out here. Look at this Fade pick on the Legion team, and then look at his supporting cast. The Aluna,
the
Bombardier, and the Pharaoh. That is like a Fade that has a free bonus 2 codexes to work with when he's like going around ganking, Red Throw from Aluna puts out 360 damage. It's almost guaranteed when you're running around with Fade. You get that stun off, 2.5 seconds. You get the Red Throw off. It's like a free bonus codex there. So you have a Pharaoh rocket being coordinated and maybe the Bombardier ulti onto a key target. I mean, that is a lot of bonus damage. So
it's definitely wow.
I mean that is.
Why do they not go Thunderbringer with their final pick? I mean,
no, just. Fade runs around, picks any target he wants in the game with even 4,000 health and just blows him up. Yeah, I don't know.
See, but this does go back, so on that note, though, this does go back to what we were talking about with that Master of Arms lock, and sure enough, picked up here by TT Esports. So having the defensive-minded global presence, though, for Master of Arms will be, no doubt, very huge against this Legion team, and Whitalaba will definitely need to be, but... Okay, so this is actually an interesting point now to bring up. Are we on a USC server? Yes, we are. Whitalaba's playing the Master of Arms. You got to question that a little bit. I mean, the reaction time, is it going to be able to be there with that latency of his?
Well, he's pretty used to playing with it. I mean, in the end, there is still input delay, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's enough to make your micro a little bit harder and things like that. But I still think if he perceives that the situation's going on, he'll still get that shield off before the hero would have died, and that's basically his timer, right? So
yeah,
I think it'll be fine. But maybe if it's a squishy target, maybe if they're going on the NG or someone or the artillery, and hey, who knows?
Yeah.
I also want to see what build Heimer's going to opt to go with here for his artillery. I haven't seen him play it for a little bit now. He used to like the Energizer route a lot, to give that hero a little bit of extra mobility and kiting ability. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Enzo is playing the secondary support once again, by the way. I know you're curious about that, so.
That is, see, that's just not Enzo's role to me. It's not his comfort role either, I know. So,
well,
and he did such a fantastic job in Game 1, but yes, the style of the lineups and who they have playing today.
That is funny, again, to see a guy play Dark Lady Game 1 and get nearly 700 gold per minute, and then the next 2 games play that secondary support for your team. So, Rally being played by Jeppins, I mean, you talked about that too. I mean, Jeppins, he loves playing this hero, apparently, plays it very well, of course, and it looks like how are they going to be setting up, actually? Him and the Master of Arms and Engineer are heading down here as well. The Courier will spot Rally out. He's just going to place a Ward of Sight on. He doesn't even really care about the Courier. Just going to place it down right there. Obviously, will be spotted doing it. Bombardier actually landing a sticky bomb there, so going to harass him a little bit. Rally did also get pulled regen, so I kind of wonder if that means, are we going to see a solo mid-Rally with a Tri-Lane Pebbles bottom, perhaps? Is that maybe something
they still have the ability to adapt, and one thing about Rally is that he's kind of like a Magnus into where he can sort of solo a lane, but he can also, if you need to have a lane partner for him, he does have a stun. He does lane quite well as well, so
yeah,
we'll see based on the poking here what they do. I assume we'll see. Yeah, the Pebbles is going back mid, so
okay, so Pebbles is going to be the solo.
Rally's a safer hero. Say they want to roam away from him, do something else. They're running the aggressive lane down here right now. If they want to roam away, leave Rally solo, he's more than capable of. Yeah, okay. See.
Well, you look at what Pencils did. They actually are making an adjustment too as a result of this. Pharaoh ends up going bottom. Draconis is actually going to end up mid here, looks like. And by the way, they're playing a support Bombardier. Just catching up on that, too. Fine here. He is definitely playing a support Bombardier from the looks of it. That's something. I mean, what do you make of that? What kind of how much of an impact is the support Bombardier going to bring to the table?
Well, I think he could actually do a lot more if he had like a Hammerstorm lane partner than a Draconis. You know, Hammerstorm at least has the point stun, and Bombardier's damage is quite high. For Draconis, it's a little bit of a weird lane. I mean, they're just going to be using him for the harass here, the dual ranged, and they'll also have to hope Pebbles doesn't get a good angle, because, I mean, if he gets that stun off, I could be looking really rough. Yeah. Even with the Draconis brought to push him back.
And it's just so awkward for me, too, because I kind of feel like that Bombardier really is a hero that needs those levels. To get the sticky bomb up, you know, the boom dust, the bombardment, it really just assists with all of his burst damage. And, of course, that airstrike to get it eventually level 1 and level 2. So I kind of wonder, you know, again, how that's really going to hinder him as well.
Now, they're doing a fantastic job here with this. Oh, look at that. White edging out the Aluna.
Actually, Aluna is in a little bit of trouble. Burning Shadows coming out on a Master of Arms, though, and that will be enough of a getaway timing for Aluna. But, yeah, doing some good pressure. But, again, we really are seeing some very interesting lanes going on. With that said, I mean, hell, we got a long lane Fade Aluna. That too, is also strange. And the fact that now Master of Arms transitioning, it ends up being an MOA artillery. So, honestly, this is just weird. It feels like it's almost a public game, I'm not going to lie.
Well, you know, they had the artillery top. They were hoping to lane against the Pharaoh, honestly. The Pharaoh suicide would get smashed by artillery, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that hero chews people apart in the 1v1 side lane. But that's why they went aggressive against him, and he doesn't have an escape mechanism early on. You know, very killable, so that's why they needed to adapt and put the Master up there.
Now, Fade is going to, again, continue to be somewhat harassed by Tull, but it does seem like he is doing a pretty good job of boxing them out the best that he can. Actually, that was a... Sorry.
That's all good.
No, that was... Anyways, I was just doing a ping all real quickly. Mortal was around 230 MS or so. But, again, he's used to it. It's not like this is a new thing, but definitely wondering, too, if that may play a role here. As far as I'm saving middle lane, actually, Draconis in a lot of trouble getting hero blocked there on top of the turret. Looks like he may be able to get away, though, with barely any life. Yes, he will. The Guardian Ring, no doubt, doing some work there as well with the armor that he gets from it, and able to somehow stay alive. But the Engineer Pebbles taking advantage of it. Looks like Aluna was missing, or not Aluna, but Bombardier was missing during that time, too. But still not able to get the Bloodlust kill, so... Very close there, though.
Yeah, and Bombardier opting to get bombardment as well instead of the boom dust, knowing he's not going to be as much of that auto attack presence. Sort of has to rely on his positioning and spellcast, so opting to go for bombardment instead.
Interesting. I mean, and bombardment is also pretty good for, you know, just the CC it brings in the sense.
Exactly. I mean, if Draconis gets initiated on, that's the only thing he has to try to save him because you know the bomb needs to build up charges before it can do stun.
We see the LRM. Oh, sorry about that. But we see the LRM actually just doing work here at the top lane on a Fate. She's going to do the health potion, though. Here comes the counter to Whitelaba. Whitelaba dropping quickly. There's that call, and down goes Whitelaba. So a great turnaround coming out from Pencils there, just like that. And they do get the Bloodlust kill in the end. But, I was saying just before that, Artillery applying a lot of pressure to Fate, actually, with the LRM. And again, kind of seeing those buffs coming into play. But the counter kill happens, and Bloodlust kill, sure enough, coming out in favor of the Legion team. Rally pressure on the Pharaoh at the bottom lane. But no kills necessarily going to happen down there, so.
Yeah. So right now, Fade and Artillery sitting on pretty even CS. They did get the kill onto Master, of course, but yeah, they're still not entirely shutting him down. Still, his GPM is far from what he wants to be sitting at.
Engineer actually bottling up the Hastron at the top lane, as top rune, I should say, is going to bring that bottle now back to Pebbles, of course, so. Good rune control coming out there, specifically from Enzo, playing that Engineer.
Look at that! Look at that Rally bottom against the Pharaoh. Look at that matchup, and look at how well Rally is doing in it.
What is he at? 24 and 14 Gs.
Yeah. That's in the off lane against the Pharaoh. I mean, it is a 1v1 matchup, so it's not like, oh, he's in the suicide lane, you know.
Yeah.
But still, he's doing a fantastic job here.
Oh, top lane didn't catch that action, but we can kind of assume what happened. Whitelaba just again gets kind of caught out right there. And on top of the power throw from Luna gets the kill. Bottom lane, Rally going to take a sticky bomb in the meantime, as look at some more adjustments happening. Draconis is actually going to head down to the bottom lane and get Bombardier down here as well, play the support role still. And they are now going to make this a 2 versus 1. Now, Rally was able to get some good levels, as you were just talking about, though, on some farm. And again, this is a hero that by all means can play in a 1 versus 2. We've seen before many times. So.
And if he stuns that Draconis and gets a good ulti off right when he hits 6, Bombardier cannot stop him from getting the ulti off.
Mm-hmm. That's true, yeah. It's definitely a lot of damage potential that Rally can do that cannot be stopped. So, in fact, there you go. He hits level 6 right there. So, yeah.
He's looking for it. Maybe he's in... Oh.
That was in range. Yeah, that was
644.
close.
I don't know the exact kill range of the Seismic Slam plus... Yeah, I don't think he would have been able to kill.
Oh, Pharaoh in the meantime is in a little bit of trouble here in the middle lane. The Hellfire doing a little bit of work right here, but the Haste of Pebbles chasing him down. The health potion take not going to be enough, and down goes Pharaoh. So that Pebbles Engineer combination coming into play. So yeah, the switch up here coming from Pencils actually. Kind of a little bit curious about it. Ultimately, Pharaoh goes mid, and he just gets killed as we saw right there. And now, obviously, the goal of this is to really just free up a lot of farm now for Draconis, which could happen. But again, he's a little bit scary that he doesn't get jumped here by Rally. And perhaps even killed. Rally going in again. Is he going to go? No.
See, I think it's because Draconis is sitting at 644 right now. I think he needs to get his Compel off, he needs to get his Slam off, and I think he needs to get one auto attack. He has his Ghost Marchers now, so if he needs to get that extra auto attack in, that'll help him a lot. Yeah, I'm sure he's just looking to see if he has that exact right moment. He knows the hero very well, so I think he knows exactly when he can take people out. So I'm confident he's playing it smart. But
oh, Whitelaba again here at the top side. He's going to get caught out in the river there. Not sure how or why he was there in the first place. Maybe going for that top rune. But actually, Aluna ended up collapsing on top of him with Fade. And Whitelaba now suffering his 3rd death of the game, actually. So, and that's great for Fade up here, being played by Sweet Pro. He's nearly in the 300 goal per minute mark. Well above Artillery and GPM. So despite him being less creep kills, again, being 1-0-2, is definitely the difference maker here in this top matchup. So at this point, you're definitely saying for TteS Esports, Whitelaba, stop dying, man. You're helping out the other team quite a bit, unfortunately.
I guess they're going on him at least and not Master. I mean, not Artillery. So I guess that's a good thing. I mean, they're still keeping pace. They still have the experience and gold advantage, even though they're down in kills. So at least the Artillery isn't the one getting blown up.
Very true. We do see Draconis down here. I mean, his farm, it definitely has stepped up. 28 and 6 creep farm now. So he is much better in that sense. And here we go. Ghost Marcher is going to be used by Rally. Is he going to look to go in? No, he's not. At least just yet. He does have that level 4 Compel now, too. But still not going for it. And again, just continuing to farm up a little bit.
Yeah, look at what Draconis has now, though.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that makes sense. He does have the Steam Boots.
Yeah, so.
And Pharaoh gets picked off again here in the middle lane, actually. So apparently some good blocking going on, using the illusions there from Pebbles, I'm sure.
Yep. Game actually still in TTS's favor. Artillery's at 200 GPM, man, for that hard lane he was up against, and they did a pretty good job salvaging it.
Yeah, so yeah, that is true. I mean, overall, right now, the goal per minute chart, it is actually favoring TTE Sports, especially with that Pebbles. Moravis here, he has his Steam Boots finished. Of course, Dracona's actually at the bottom in a lot of trouble as Engineer came in. So Rally did use the Seismic Slam, and obviously Master of Arms also being there. Didn't actually get a assist goal, but nonetheless helps get the kill onto Draconis and really helping to keep him locked down. So it does seem like overall things are actually a little bit better for TTE Sports. In fact, the Golden Experience Lead definitely say that 2,000 gold lead, at 2,100 Experience Lead. Yeah, Artillery barely getting away, avoiding the Burning Shadows. That was close, though.
Yeah, I thought for sure Fade was going to get that stun off. He was running up. He was going for it. Opted not to ground click it at first, so he didn't get that extra range. And then using those Ghost Marchers, Cheesehelm was able to get enough positioning there to, yeah, just barely evade it.
Well, and again, so talking about artillery, though, with this bunker down ability that I was referring to, I mean, the range that he gets is pretty ridiculous. So you'd figure that even in a 1 versus 2 matchup, he's able to actually get a good amount of last hits. And
yeah,
that is kind of going here. So.
And provide decent lane control as well, you know, getting really safe denies up and really heavy hitting denies, so.
Yeah, so again, not the most impressive farm in the world, but I think it's pretty respectable here, the farm that Cheesehelm is having at the top lane, because especially when you got your partners in, well, Pebbles really continuing to be the focus here. He actually has 1,300 more gold saved up. Bottle and Boots already picked up, of course, so definitely a portal key next in line is very, very possible to see on here, playing, of course, being played by Moravis. And then meanwhile, actually, Rally, his farm also pretty damn good, 305 gold per minute. Again, this is, in a sense, not really a suicide rally, at least early on. Granted, it kind of changed, but still, he's been having a good time. He actually has Ghost Marchers and then a Helm of the Victim, so kind of wondering about that a little bit. I don't know, do you have any insight on what Jeppins likes to go here and rally? Actually, hold that thought for a second. He's going to find Pharaoh right here, as well as Aluna. Port's coming in, Pebbles is diving, but Pebbles takes the stun first, so Lagman's going to be his rally with the assistance. Aluna's still well alive, though. Kegstun coming on in the meantime. He's going to get chucked down. Goes Aluna finally. Nice cut out from Molly. The Seismic Slam, but the Hellfire doing too much work right there. And now Rally will need to run away. If it wasn't for that Hellfire, that could have been absolutely devastating for the Legion team. But Rally falling back has another compelling 2 seconds. And it looks like we'll be fine, as will maybe Engineer. No, Sticky Bomb exploding is going to be enough for the kill. Oh, the uphill attack misses, actually. And Bombardier cannot secure the kill as a result. Meanwhile, back over here, Rally going back in. The Compel going to be used onto Pebbles. Gets the kill on a fade. Rally barely staying alive. The Pebbles haste. He's going to run away. And action, 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 man.
Yeah, and meanwhile, during all of that, Heimer was sitting there farming away on the artillery, so huge, huge positive exchange there coming out for TTS.
Yeah. You look right now, and actually I believe I just saw the portal key purchased by Pebbles too. And that is, of course, big, big news here for TTE Sports to see it surpass the 400 GPM mark. So, again, control of this game definitely seems like it is a pretty good spot here for our Hellborn side. As far as positives right now for Pencils, I mean, even Fade, it seems like she was having a good start. It's slowed down a little bit. I mean, she's only level 7 now, and Draconis too. As actually, speaking of Draconis, he's going to get comboed by Rally, the Compel, and the Seismic Slam. And there you go. A couple of auto attacks, especially with that battle experience passive of his. And he tears through Draconis. So again, momentum really picking up now for TTE Sports.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing the Pebble set at 400 GPM. No, is it 400? Sorry, I misspoke. I was thinking XP. Yeah, almost 400 GPM still. 400 experience per minute as well. He's really ahead of the curve, and whenever you see a Pebbles ahead of the curve, you know what happens next. It's whack-a-mole time. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you do for your Pencils here? I mean, where do you go from here at this point?
Pick off the artillery with Fade and Bombardier.
So picking up aggression, basically.
Yeah, they need Bombardier's ulti first off, so they can do that aggression. We talked about like the gank presence they have with the Fade and the massive amount of burst. Master's not 6 yet. I'd like to see Fade just pull off a really nice, safe gank onto someone. Not really go for those engages though, because right now Pebbles will tear them apart.
Yeah, and Fade will hit level 8. Wow, Fade will hit level 8 right there, as he actually goes to the side shop and picks up a Homecoming Stone. But yeah, you're right. I mean, as fun as it was to look at this Legion lineup and all their abilities and the synergy of them, especially in the global presence, with Fade leading the way, you know, ultimately they're going to need the levels. And the fact that Bombardier, again, I said this, how he's playing a support role, he's not even level 6 yet, as you just talked about. We're coming up to 13 minutes now, so he's not level 6, not able to take advantage of that. And on top of all that as well, I mean, your Draconis, it's not like you at least got him to kind of lean back on, despite this really aggressive play not working out, because he too, I mean, his farm is actually okay at 265 gold per minute, but it ain't the most superb either at this point. It actually has some Wild Hunters that he's dealing with right here. That's unfortunate for Draconis. Not necessarily his ideal choice, but
Heimer did get the Energizer. Fade is lurking, though. They are setting up to try to pick him off, but...
Airstrike is up, actually, for Bombardier. So here we go. We're going to open it with the ready. He wanted the auto attack. Feral will completely miss. Sweet Pro's in a lot of trouble. Sweet Pro may end up falling here. In fact, there's the compel. Down he goes. That was just greed. I mean, he went for the auto attack instead of the Burning Shadows.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe he felt like he wouldn't get the kill off now that he has ulti up, now that he had 900 HP, the Energizer stats, whatever it was, but man, oh man, I mean, you can't do that. I mean, it was about 1.5 seconds underneath the tower before he even got the auto off. I mean, Master of Arms would have to be sitting there basically drooling not to get, this off in a remotely decent time, which he did, and on top of that, it also bought them time to have people TP in, so...
Yeah. I don't get what just happened right there, honestly.
I think they just wanted to make a play. They were hoping Heimer would misstep, not noticing the fade within maybe the first quarter or second of it, and it just didn't play out. He moved back at that exact moment. They were quick about it, and yeah, it's unfortunate.
Ooh, actually, Rally putting some pressure on a Pharaoh here at the top. Look at the damage that he outputs, actually, with that battle experience. He's going to go in right here. The Hellfire is going to be used again. It stops the Seismic Slam, but it doesn't matter. The auto attack damage is just too much. Now, Fade will pick off Engineer in the background, actually, but now Rally is on the run. Fade trying to assist maybe Draconis, but no, Rally's just more than tanky enough. I mean, he has a Shaman's Headdress, actually, so that's what he turned in with the Helm of the Victim, and actually now even a Life 2 picked up. It goes to show you this Rally hero, man. I mean, the fact that he built a Shaman's Headdress first and he still put out crazy damage as he did against that Pharaoh with his auto attacks. That battle experience really is powerful.
Yeah, ignoring half the armor. Not that Pharaoh's sitting on that much to begin with right now. And Moravis is not letting up, man. He has made full use of this portal key.
Yeah. It's already 10-4 hero kill advantage for TteS Esports. It really is seeming like it's getting even too out of hand for Pencils. Even though they have a Draconis who it continues to at least enhance a little bit here, nearing that 300 gold per minute mark. But this Hellborn team is getting scarier and scarier. We talked about the Energizer pickup on artillery, on top of what is Quick Blade sitting in his inventory currently. So
yeah,
see what he turns that into. I'm guessing maybe the Firebrand.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I see him go that Geos route quite a bit. I would like to see him maybe pick up investments or something just for a little bit extra insurance against this fade. But I guess they don't really need it. They're applying so much pressure that they're not even really able to get out there and gank the artillery right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what it goes back to, though, for me, is just the Spencer lineup, as attractive as it was with the possibility on paper. It's just the actual practice of it. And I think the laning phase, no doubt, played a huge role here. And Pencil's almost seen, I don't know, they couldn't really put it together as far as the laning phase goes.
Well, what do you need for an aggressive lineup to work out? You need to win your lanes usually, right?
Yeah.
Because winning the lanes leads to more of a snowball stage of the game where you really get your ganks off, better map control. That's really how you go about applying it. When they had this Draconis pickup, it just sort of fit in there awkwardly because they had a Bombardier Draconis lane in mid. That was forfeit to the Pebbles lane in middle. And then you had the Pharaoh. I'm not ultra familiar with the Pharaoh Rally matchup, but in this time it was played through, Jetpins definitely took total control of it. They did initially start with the dual lane, so maybe Jetpins got a little bit of that edge. Early on, and then he just sort of amplified that and really just did fine down there. It was doubling his GPM and CS, so.
Pharaoh down here is literally sitting in his jungle beyond the... I don't know exactly why. I mean, he probably assumes somebody's coming to gank him, but he is just playing very passive down here. He finally is going to expose himself a little bit, but then he runs right back. So clearly he thinks something's up at this bottom lane, but Pablo McDad is fine for... Well, as I say that, though, here comes the level 11 Pebbles with that portal key. He actually has a Mighty Blade now picked up. He's going to clean up the creep wave, and he'll continue to push. Rally finishing a Helm of the Black Legion here as well. So, again, he is damn tanky already, but on top of that, he still can put out plenty of right-click damage with that battle experience passive, and then, of course, there's a whole Seismic Slam thing, which he does have level 2 of. And then he got an artillery that you're sitting back on. 1,200 more gold saved up. Has enough for that Firebrand now. That's what he's choosing to go for. Draconis is clearing up some triple stack Ancients here. So again, it is a case of right now for Pencils. They're leaning on this Draconis man. And they're going to have to hope that he does have his farm does start to enhance here because it continues to be at a rate. Now, I'm actually curious what you think about this, how Draconis is still choosing to go for that Nullstone route. Sometimes in games like this, we will see a Draconis instead go straight for a Shrunken Head. Do you think that would have been the better route here, or are you still fine with him going for the Nullstone?
I feel like he's going to pick up Nullstone, but it's not going to help him survive any further. the only ability that really can mitigate here, if I'm looking at this right, is the Master of Arms point shot. What is that? The charge shot coming out from him. So
Chuck
everyone
from
else
Pebbles, but even that could be avoided, as we talk about.
everyone else can still pretty much apply their damage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Chuck from Pebbles. Yeah, but Pebbles, if he clicks himself, yeah, that's so.
There's ways
I don't know.
around it.
I feel like he would have done better maybe with a different build up here. I mean, it's still a farming tool. It still gives him HP. It still gives him stats, but it's a lot of gold that going towards something which might not even help you survive.
Yeah. I mean, it does go to the logic too, though. The eventual Hellflower possibility pickups and whatnot. So it will be good against that, sure. But still, it's I think the Shrunken Head route may have been the better option here. Early on, with how TT Esports has been playing so aggressive. Now that has slowed down a little bit. I will say that much here coming out from TT Esports. It's slowed down a little bit, but if anything, that's because they're still waiting for their next level of items. Pebbles, he's working on finishing that Shrunken Head, and maybe trying to get Heimer that Geometer's being finished here even next in line.
Artillery does put out a lot of damage, and we were talking before, like Draconis is sort of the saving grace, but there was no definitive ultra late game hero coming out. In the previous game. This time they have an artillery, once again, who's farming very well. He's able to scale very well into the late game, so I don't know. That's...
Pharaoh actually gets his TP canceled right here by a charge shot. Now he does have a haste drone, which he's going to activate and kind of run away with, but kind of a funny situation coming out right there between the two. So Talaba able to stop the TP from happening. But yeah, artillery now just in the bottom lane, continuing to farm you all. I do see Fate opening, but Engineer going to be kegged forward as well as the Compel right there. But the airstrike coming out from Bombardier and to finish off Engineer. So finally we see Bombardier actually able to assist in that sense with that airstrike. I think that's even the first time he's used it this game, but able to get a kill out of it. So good news there for Pencils, but still overall, I mean, you look at the big picture. In fact, there you go. Rally picks off Fade by himself. Of course, Seismic Slam used, and just like that, in a sense, kind of a kill for kill exchange coming out. So
yeah, and meanwhile, Pebbles tried to pick off the Bombardier, who was counter-warding at his Ancients. Just barely missed the stun there, so the aggression being applied. You can argue, Bombardier got the kill onto Engineer with his ulti, but I don't think anyone was in experience range for it. He got a little bit of gold, but it's, their support hero.
Yeah.
Really, in the end, it really didn't matter. Now he doesn't have that ulti for a fight.
Pebbles will finish off Draconis. That started with, though, artillery doing a ton of damage to him from the beginning, especially with that LRM is what I could tell at least. And Draconis tried to run away, but then all of a sudden came the Portal Key Pebbles, of course, to help finish him off. So Pharaoh even as well. He was trying to maybe save Draconis at the last second, but it was just in front of Pebbles, not able to connect, and so couldn't do. So it's almost it really is a case of Pencils here. They're getting out-aggressed. I mean, again, going back to their lineup, it is a beautiful lineup on paper and with the synergy and everything, but the aggression just isn't there. Obviously, as we talked about earlier too, the laning phase just wasn't the best for Pencils either, and that just doesn't help the situation. So yeah, and the fact ultimately that TT Esports, they have a hard carry themselves that they too can fall back on, even with the lead that they have in artillery, who is having a, not the most amazing start ever in farm, but it is definitely up there, 370 gold per minute now and counting. So
yeah, and Rally, Pebbles. I mean, Pebbles is extremely well in the late game too. He's gonna have his Shrunken Head coming out if he goes Demonic Breastplate later. He's no one to disregard either, and
yeah,
I'm curious to see what Jeffins is gonna go for next here. He likes to go this the mock build a lot.
Oh, really?
Turn Rally into sort of a semi-carry like that.
And then there's the offensive Master's Call that you have to keep in mind. And I say that especially, Pebbles is great with that for sure, but what about artillery? I mean, I can see an offensive Master's Call, especially with something like that LRM on artillery, with a bunker down. I mean, I can see that just tearing up the opposition, the whole team even. So
yeah, the offensive Master's Call, I don't think it would benefit his LRM, right? That would just sort of...
Would it not decrease the cast time of it and make it do more damage quicker?
Oh, you mean like how fast the shots
How fast the damage actually happens. Yeah, hold on, I thought that we do got a lot of action at the bottom lane. One pick going to happen onto looks like it was Pharaoh right there, as a lot was used, as you can tell. Pebbles barely staying alive and actually able to get away. So, but yeah, I mean that's what I thought is that.
Yeah, maybe I'm curious because like there's abilities like Magma's Channel which don't get sped up by Master's Call, and then there's Artillery's LRM. I'm not really sure how that's coded. If you would fire more attacks faster, that'd be pretty.
Huh. Well,
fun.
does it? So eruption, the channeling doesn't go quicker.
It's fixed, yeah. It's a fixed time. At least the last time I tested it. Things like Soul Stealer's ulti get hasted up. Things like Deadwood's Punch and all that get hasted up, but not.
Okay, see, maybe I kind of just assumed that, but maybe I'm not familiar enough with that mechanic. Cause so stuff like Succubus Hold, like I wonder if that would be.
That would just be a fixed thing, I think.
Fixed,
like,
okay.
Yeah.
So maybe,
as far as I know.
Maybe LRM is also fixed, if that is the case, actually. I'm not. But even so, even without the LRM.
Even so, yeah. I mean, that hero puts out so much damage.
Yeah. Sweet Pro gonna get picked off. Tried to run away right there, but Master of Arms actually came in and put the stun on her and helped to finish her off. Again, TteS Esports, the game is just getting uglier and uglier for Pencils, really is. 16,000 goalie now, 17,000 experience. Only now 24 minutes into the game. And Draconis, he has been picked off several times. He's 0-4-0 now. He finally finishes the Nullstone, but guess what? That goes back to what you were talking about earlier with the whole choice of going for a Nullstone first. It just really is that going to be a difference maker here?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Oh, and we were talking about the gold being pulled up on Jeppins. He does like to go the mock route, a lot in rally, turn him into sort of like, semi-carry tank. But.
He also loves to just pull up tons of gold. He really does. No matter
Maybe
what.
he's like trying to decide what item he's on. He's like,
I always notice that about Jeppins. We've talked about that several times.
Takes down a
he just loves to pull up that, and we'll see him. What he does is he pulls up like 5,000 gold, and he buys a Soul's Bulwark, and you're just like, what?
And he's like got 3,000 gold left over, and you're just like,
why did that just happen again? Okay, top tower is going to be pushed by Rally, speaking of him, and actually after the side, Pebbles is invis. Oh, this is a big type 8 offensive Master's calling a Rally right there. Pebbles going to open after the side on the Fade, actually. One more auto attack to him, and nobody invis. It's going to stay alive. Pause is coming out. Rally's kind of just sitting here.
Yeah, he definitely disconnected.
Okay, yeah.
I was watching that. I was really well mannered though by Pencils coming out and pausing.
They were the ones that paused. Yeah.
I mean, how often do you see that?
Oh boy. So yeah, that is, and obviously he dies in the end. But again, that's not. At least they tried to even understand that he was DC'd and fall back. But
well, at least he has buyback.
He does have 4,100 gold cooldown. Look at that. He can buy back and buy a Soul's Bulwark. There you go.
Yeah.
He can do
How
that
funny
just
would
fine.
it be if we saw that come out?
I will say that really does. That does suck for TteS. Obviously that he died, but also if he wasn't DC there, I mean, they were no doubt setting up for a big bait play right there.
Oh yeah, Pebbles was, ready to tear someone apart. Look, they still have most of their heroes cannot survive Pebbles combo yet. It's just he is so ahead of the curve.
Yeah, he's nearly level 16 on top of that, so even more enhanced damage from there. Yeah. Fade was able to barely survive, even not having a Mist of Investments, actually. This team is on strength enough.
The Geos and Energizer coming out in artillery, so a lot of kiting potential. And he has his Vestments now, too, so...
Alright, let's get on.
So Pebbles is probably just going to run away here. No point for him to stay in, at least for now. Let's see if he thinks he can get a pick off, but no. Just going to fall back and continue to farm some more. So Draconis just going to take advantage of that Nullstone now and just try to, as we said, in the end, it's still kind of like that farming tool. And some good mana regen, some good stats and everything, but will it matter for him? We'll see. Artillery going and cleaning up some double stack Ancients, it looks like. He talked about the items that he has, and already another 1,800 gold saved up himself. So again, plenty of gold being pulled. Jeppin's going to wait to resurrect right here, so again, unfortunate, but in the end, it happens, especially with him a lot, apparently. The whole DCing thing.
Yeah, I wonder if it's internet or if it's computer or what the cause of it is.
Yeah, you don't know. But it is kind of funny that happened, though, because actually, Tralfamador, he's the one that actually brought that up to me about Jeppins, tends to maybe have some DC issues. But it seemed like when it did happen, though, it never really was the most impactful times. But, I mean, that's a perfect example right there of how, if you don't have the most stable internet or computer, whatever the issue is, I mean, no doubt that's what got him killed and, prevented them from getting any kills there. So
I mean, Breaky, imagine in a closer game, neck and neck,
yeah,
where a death like that can literally mean Kongor gets taken and the entire momentum of the game is shifted.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
always a risk they're running with.
Yeah, it is. He does buy the Sword of the High, by the way, so
yeah,
he is going to be going that Mock of Brilliance route, and he's also going to be pretty close to level 16, I would assume, too. So
yeah.
3 Seismic Slam. But you mentioned that's an item that he prefers to go to, it sounds like, on Rally.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Barrier Isle this game, I think, coming out, just because if they can't get that magic damage initiation off and kill someone with it, they're...
Oh. Fade's like, well, I'm dead.
I don't think we can go 5 seconds talking without this Pebbles killing.
Honestly, when Pebbles gets to this point, yeah, just don't worry about stopping talking with a kill. It's like,
oh,
it
I know,
happened.
I'm just saying, he's just going ham on these people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we were talking about... Oh, yeah, the rally, right? I'd like to see a Barrier Idol, because I think with a Barrier Idol, they can just run up and push, and even with all the magic damage they have, enough of it would be mitigated to where, you know, everyone on Hellborn would survive, and they'd put out the counter initiation, put out the damage, and they'd be fine. Mach is fine. It's still pretty powerful. He'll farm like crazy. He'll be this tanky mess in a fight, but, yeah.
Rally is no doubt going, not Rally, but, wow. Artillery. Artillery is definitely no doubt going glass cannon build, but I really do feel like this is one of these heroes that absolutely can do this. Go this kind of build of being, specifically with that bunker down ability, giving him so much range that he can have it to his advantage. And on top of that, you know, having something like a Master of Arms to support, and even, you know, in the sense of Rally for that compel and whatnot. But they do kill Kongor fairly easily. Artillery actually picks up the token of life, so even more of a reason why he's going straight for just raw damage here, as he has a Slayer purchase, and of course, that means most likely a Savage Mace in the works.
Yes.
Legion team, I mean, other than Draconis, you know, with an Ulsa, there's just nothing. There really is just nothing here. I believe, okay, there is a Porta Key just picked up on Fade. A Tablet Command is being worked on by Bombardier. But again, it's just, there's no supporting cast other than that, unfortunately. And this whole global presence idea, it's at a case now where even if you now get that whole idea working where Fade opens on somebody, finds them by themselves, they're so tanky now on the Hellborn set as a whole as far as their items and, you know, their possibilities to get away. So that the chances of that is definitely kind of faded off a lot here.
Yeah. And you were talking about the artillery being a hero that can definitely go more of a glass cannon kind of build. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, honestly, it's a little bit stronger than a Flint Beast would in positioning, because he does pretty much have that permanent slow built into him, on top of the fact that his ulti does push him back and stun everything in front of him. I mean, honestly, it's like Flint Beast would kiting in a battle +1, so, or +2 even. So it's like, yeah, he has that ability, and
oh my gosh,
look at how fast he's farming now, man.
Yeah. Well,
LRM is just...
Oh, Draconis going to get caught here. Engineer kicks out. There's the energy field on top. Perfect placement. Draconis will melt away. But also, while you're talking about artillery, Rally got literally 4-man gank there. Everyone but Draconis jumped onto Rally. Fade opened perfectly. Pharaoh followed. Bombardier was there. Aluna power, though. They used everything, and he just still compelled and walked away. The airstrike wasn't even attempted. He was actually doing a good job of juking and jiving in case it came out. I mean, that was a prime example right there of what I was just talking about. How literally, even with even with this global presence that this Legion team has, it's just not enough at this point now. I mean, Rally just tanked it and he survived. And he's also just talked about, you know, that farm that artillery was doing. And he is now going to have that Savage Mace very shortly. About 4.5 minutes still on the token of life, so this is going to be pretty good timing, I would say. He's probably going to get that Savage Mace. They're going to group up, and they're just going to try to finish this game, I would think, here for TteS Esports.
Yeah, that LRM does so much damage. I was watching like 4 waves of it, or 4 or 5 waves only, which happened over basically a second, take out almost the entire creep wave. So,
yeah, that's it's pretty powerful, and it's kind of funny because I forget who it was. I think it might have been Dan, Dangerous Dan, actually, at S2 Games. Somebody brought it up to me anyways about these artillery changes, and man, just wait, artillery's getting these buffs in this next batch. Just trust me, he's going to be played. You know, of course, it's always, you know, hear that from time to time. It's like, I get it, you want to see artillery. I doubt it's going to happen though. But you know, he is going to show in here. Now, obviously, this game is a little bit skewed in a sense. I think it's safe to say that this isn't artillery doing all this work by any means. But
well, no, I definitely do feel like the changes have bumped him into a viable hero.
Yeah.
Still a little bit selective in laning, but he is, as you're seeing here, very capable of putting out a ton of damage. I mean, he hasn't been involved in a lot of the fights this game, just running around farming, but he can flash farm with that LRM now, so he's able to keep pace with...
Rally's doing so much damage by himself! Oh my god, they just destroyed Draconis. Down goes Fade. The offensive Master's Call was on Rally at that time as well, and I think that just made his Seismic Slam, of course, cast that much faster. Bombardier's running. He's like, oh god, save me, save me. Pebbles has a stun up at 4 seconds. Oh, they're clearly just kind of taunting him here. And champion of Neworth, Moravis. You know, yeah, if I'm Pencils here, I think it's at a point of... yeah.
I want to see Artillery enter a team fight, though, man.
I know.
He is so farmed. I just want to see his
yeah.
damage at this point. I know any hero with 480 GPM is going to tear it up. Give any carry 480 GPM, and they will have a field day against this underfarmed team, okay? But I just want to see it. I mean, he's been farming all game. Not to say they haven't been aggressive. Obviously, they have been tearing up the map, but I just want to see him bust out a fight.
I agree with you 100%, but I don't know if we're going to get that, unfortunately. I mean, Les Pencils still... I mean, they are going to stay in here for now, obviously. Even if they're down 30,000 experience in gold here at 32 minutes into the game, but... Okay, so Artillery is going to start joining them now. He has just over 2 minutes remaining on the token, so I guess if anything, Pencil's like, oh, we'll give it one last go here. Perhaps as far as the team fight is concerned. Artillery is like, nah, I want more farm, though. Don't worry, guys. I got this. See, to me, it's kind of ridiculous. Honestly,
yeah, I mean, to me, they're 30k up. They can't kill them if they wanted to on Legion.
Yeah.
They're just too tanky, too powerful at this point. Just...
Well, you have a token alive, too, with 2 minutes left.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the timing, if anything.
And what is the combination of... Okay, they just killed Enso, level 13 support, whatever. What is the combination of items you look for with token to push into a base? Savage Mace and Geos.
Yeah.
You're going for that push. And especially with an 800 range hero and Artillery. 800 range. Attacking up that hill safely with his Geos, with his Savage Mace, with that bunker down bonus damage. He can pretty much just annihilate the tower.
Yeah. He is still not going to push, though, even though he has an invisible Pebbles down there. But Pebbles may actually open on a Pharaoh by himself. I don't know about getting... If he had, like, a Hellfire, maybe. But
he has a Bulwark now. He might be able to do it.
There's a barbed armor onto Pharaoh. Oh, but he's going to chuck him into the creep wave, chucks him towards Artillery. And Artillery comes in with what is that called? The Artillery Barrage right there.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate. That's 500 magic damage? Yeah, and he's just dead just like that. So having some fun there. Is TteS Sports, as they have every right to. The token of life, I guess, is just going to be exhausted here. It's under a minute now remaining. It doesn't seem like he's interested in using it here. By the way, they have 3 Energizers here on the Hellborn team, too. We obviously saw the one on Artillery early on. Yeah. But now Master of Arms and even Engineer has one. So.
Yep, and that tablet was picked up on Rally. I saw him building it for a bit, and he picked it up. Just additional kiting. He's already tanky enough to survive anything. Now with the tablet, it's like, yeah, good luck.
That's also, we've seen that before. I mean, that really is a case of that really is a case of the compel. You know, you want to save that for more of the damage route, if anything, and also, but where the tablet frees up for you to use it and not have to worry about wasting that damage output. But
yeah,
Cheese Helmet actually has a Rift Shard's not picked up.
Oh man, I mean, well, we can at least speculate based on how fast he can kill maybe the Ancients, how much damage he would be doing. Let's see. I'm watching him. He's strutting down the mid lane.
Where's he going?
They're going for it. They're going for a push, I think.
Token of Life is no longer on him, so this is the time, apparently.
Yeah.
Would have been too easy, right?
They're just like, all right, spare them. You know, I don't know.
Pebbles jumping in. Here we go. Maybe trying to get something going. Pebbles actually going to take a lot of damage himself. Here comes Artillery. The Artillery Barrage. Look at him just tear up Pharaoh. Yeah. As expected. Going uphill, trying to find somebody. But he's not going to find that person just yet. Just going to go in his bunker down right there and just LRM spam the creep wave. So, and obviously, you know, he's really good at this creep wave. And Pebbles is going to jump in. Chucks Draconis back. Artillery assisting with the damage, of course. Not in range, though. Draconis is going to be able to get away. It looks like Heck's not going to happen. Burning Shadows from Fade. It gets compelled back into his Draconis. Cataclysmic Assault, but he just dies shortly after. Now the LRM coming out from Artillery once again. And guess what? Jeppin's timing out during that fight.
Oh, man.
They are going to pause it.
Didn't even have
it's pause concede. All right, yeah. So why waste any more time? Honestly, they can appreciate that from Pencils. It's like, you know what? He doesn't need to come back. The game's over. Go ahead and take the victory. Definitely an entertaining game, though. We got yet another one, but that'll do it. TteS Sports will take the series 2-1, and that means they're going to be playing Q Squad tomorrow, Emperor.
Yeah, Q Squad versus TteS. Pretty good game. I'd like to see it. Q Squad definitely coming in a little bit more experienced in this matchup. The new TteS squad still a little bit fresh, but it should be a good game.
Yeah, that was definitely a lot of fun to watch there. But you know, again, it's just she got way too out, just like I did in Game 2 with Pencil's favor, TteS Sports really just got the ball rolling, and it wasn't stopping. I think that laning phase, though, it really was awkward. Like I said from the beginning, it's almost felt like a pub game to me. It really did. I mean, you have a Fade Aluna top, a Bombardier supporting a Draconis middle.
Yeah, that was
It's
insane.
just like
I mean,
something's not really connecting here.
Yeah, I mean, the Fatal Luna was okay. I like the concept they had. They
True.
didn't want to send the Pharaoh against the artillery. They didn't want that hero to get stomped. But in the end, they just sacrificed all of their lanes for it, and they got a really weird structure. And they only won one lane, sorta, and they didn't even really win that lane. Like the top lane versus artillery, Fade had a little bit of higher GPM, but artillery's farm was not locked down. He still managed 200 plus GPM.
Yeah.
Managed to get out of that laning phase okay, and yeah, aggressive lineup, but just you need the lanes.
Yeah. Well, that is going to do it for our GSL qualifier coverage today. Definitely got some good action out of today, and a great way to get things kicked off, I must say. Definitely, I was glad that we got an awesome series there. In fact, looking over all the series, this was the only one that even went 3 games. So go figure. The one we chose to cast. Well, 007 does play Absolute Legends later on tonight as well. So who knows? That one very likely could actually. I can see that being a pretty good matchup. But
yeah, that's actually a really, really close. I'd say as good as the one we just casted, even in terms of how close those teams are.
Yeah. And actually, there was a quote from We Are Spies, from Dirty Mobs, who's the captain of We Are Spies. It was kind of interesting. He was making a point how they recently lost one of their players, Present 23, to Absolute Legends. So not only are they possibly going to be playing against one of their former teammates in that matchup, but we may have a surprise for our replacement. There's no official details on that yet, but they may have a surprise new 5th. So, anyways, we'll
Awesome.
see on that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
Not sure what that's about, but we'll see. Anyways, that is going to do it here on Honcast for our coverage here today. Emperor, it was a blast. I definitely appreciate you joining me, man, and helping me out here today. What was it like for you? Was it good?
It was great. I enjoyed it a lot. I was glad we got to have 3 pretty aggressive games in the end. The first game, maybe not as much, but the last 2, man, that was intense. So, yeah, it was a blast, Breaky.
Yeah. Definitely was. All right, and it's going to continue tomorrow and all the way through Thursday. So it sounds like that you're good to be joining me throughout the rest of this week as well. You're good to go.
Let's do it.
All right, it's only going to get better from here, right? It really is.
Oh, for sure.
And again, it really just what is on the line now. Han Tour is one thing, especially through the cycles, where sure there's plenty of money on the line each cycle, even, and that's by all means respectable. But really, in this tournament, single elimination to the point, teams. You cannot mess up. You're playing for such a big prize, and it's just you get it or you don't. I mean, only one team ultimately out of these 16 is going to be getting that. So, again, I just love this format. I love how it's going to go so quickly as well. And knowing by Thursday we're going to have that finals match, which I'm sure is going to be great. So, anyways, want to officially wrap this up. Emperor, as we like to do here, where can we find you on the internet? Where can we find you on Twitter?
Pretty much all the same place. Twitter.com/domain of pain, Facebook @domain of pain, Twitch TV @domain of pain. So
there you go. All about the domain of pain.
All about the domain of pain, yeah.
Right on, right on. All right. So, anyways, wrapping things up here again. Definitely appreciate you joining me, Emperor. Looking forward to continuing it throughout this week. Thank you to you guys for tuning in. It's going to continue to be a lot of fun here. Hopefully you enjoyed today. Also, the VODs from this last week, and if you didn't miss any of it, of course, from Han Tour Cycle number 5 are now up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Honcast, and they will be on the site as well very, very shortly. So, until then, though, guys, we will see you tomorrow at the same time. That is 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. That is, of course, 2200 Central European Time. And looking forward to seeing, I don't know exactly what matchup we're going to do, but we got plenty of good options, let's just say, as expected. So tune in tomorrow at that time. Until then, we'll see you. Have a good night, guys.